the Josh? So I'm not a practiced motivation speaker, so I just wanted to calm my nervous feeling because this is the first time at TED. So if you like my thoughts, good for you. If you don't like my thoughts, good for your body. Okay, let's start. Namaskar. Good afternoon. It's not the size of the person in the fight, but the size of the fight in the person. What does it take to turn a fleeting dream into an unstoppable passion? If I close my eyes, I still remember all those years ago, mesmerized by the warriors, Kudasu power and grace. Their kicks sharp, their body strong, and the will unbreakable. Meanwhile, I was just trying not to trip over on my feet. Yet, despite my questionable athleticism, a thought hit me. Fortunately, not a roundhouse cake. Was I meant more than just watching? Was I meant to fight? I deep down know, little did I know, this spark of the curiosity would ignite a passion that would lead me to the international stage. I am Kashish Malik, an international taekwondo athlete at 24. But before the medals and titles, I was a child who once watched in awe, never realizing she is looking at her own future. And here is how it all began. I grew up in a city who never stopped moving, where dreams often got lost in the noise. Every day, millions of us navigating in chaos, pushing through crowded metro stations, bargaining with auto drivers, navigating through relentless traffic. The journey is never smooth. It has delays, detours, moments of frustration. But we don't stop. Either a place happens with ambition and the street hums with determination. But the first time when I stepped into the Taekwondo Academy, everything changed. The sharp echo of feet hitting onto the mat, the sheer will of force in the air, it was electrifying. It was more than just a sport. It was a survival, it was a transformation. But the path forward was just not easy. Do you carry the weight of regrets? Or do you wear the scar as proof of your resilience? If given a chance to rewrite my story, I wouldn't change a single struggle. Every step back and setback was not a roadblock, but a stepping stone, forcing me to rise harder and fight stronger. But the battles I fought weren't just in the ring, against the voice inside that whispered, "You are not enough." But beyond that voice, is even louder one, you know what came? The weight of society that questioned my place in the sport. I fought against the expectations of the girls should be graceful, not fierce. Strength isn't born in comfort, it's forged in fire. And I'm proud that every flame shaped me. Because rock bottom, it's never the end. It's the beginning of another battle you never saw coming. Resilience is built in the calm, not in the depths. So you either stay buried or start digging your way back using your own strength. But why Taekwondo? Why stepping into an arena where history wasn't already written for me? Walking into a Taekwondo hall as a woman felt like entering the silent battlefields. With so few role models, the dream seemed out of reach, almost unattainable. Every sparring session was not just a test of skill, it was a constant proof that where I belonged. I was not fighting for a place on the mat. I was fighting for a future where no woman would feel like she's an outsider of her own dreams. The path was just not easy. I had a lot of failures and rejections as I passed on. It was not just a sport for me, it was a statement. But a place where no blueprint existed. But that's exactly why I chose it. I wanted to build something from ground up. To prove that no dream is too big and no goal is too far. I aspired to be Saina Nehwal or Mary Kom, the very first in my field. And be the ray of light for future Taekwondo generations. It has shown me that the journey is as important as the destination. When I stepped on the mat for the Asian Invitation Test Tournament, I stood tall, drained, and dripped in the pride of my nation. Every kick every strike landed as a statement. The final bell rang as gold medal touched my fingers. It wasn't just a victory or just a trophy. It was a promise that my fight had already begun. And was the qualification ticket for the Asian Games. And I was ready to carve my name once more into the destiny. In 2018 Asian Games, which should have been my proving ground, shattered like minor after an earthquake. I wasn't on any official list. I had no international senior experience. While Team India trained, I was battling and fighting with different battles, not on mats but in courtrooms. My arena weren't lined on the mats, but with legal documents. Every hearing was a match, every argument was a kick, and every ruling was a test of endurance. But I refused to back down. On the morning of flight, I received the news that I had won the case. I packed my bags and left for the Asian Games. When I stepped onto the mat, this was my moment. Against quarterfinal medal fight at Korea, one of the strongest contenders in the world. As the match began, I stood with my heart was pounding, the body was scorching, and I fought as if the medal was already mine until the final round began. It slipped through fingers, just inches from victory. But I refused to call it a loss. It was a revelation that something ignited spark within me. I had determined that next time I won't be just fighting, I will conquer. In 2019, 3 months before the flight to the World Taekwondo Championship in Manchester, my knee shattered during training. Pain like the lightning shot through my knee. One moment I was soaring and the next I was broken. My dreams were like my knee were broken and so was my world. Doctors recommended me surgery, but I wasn't ready to surrender. I had only one chance: brutal rehab, relentless training, and a test in 2 months. If I passed, I could still fight. The path to recovery wasn't just about healing, it was about the endurance. Every morning when I stepped onto the metro, the world around me rushing forward, while I just tried to fought to keep up. Every movement sent shocks of pain. The knee were twisting in movements 360 degree that it shouldn't. But I refused to surrender. On the test, the moment that would decide that I'll be able to fight or it was just a beginning or just a overmatch, I stepped forward, my heart was pounding, the body scorching again. I passed. And it wasn't just a victory, but a proof that resilience can turn pain into power. I thought I am at the bottom of the rock bottom, at the UK embassy, where I and my teammates stood with a full heart of hope, met with a crushing blow. Our visas were denied. I was shattered. I watched my teammates, their faces painted with disbelief. But one thing I realized, setbacks don't define us, but our response to them does. While I was dreaming to compete in the World Taekwondo Championship, which had a backslash, I realized that I have become more aware and capable of my own abilities than I ever imagined. It's not we conquer the mountains, but we conquer ourselves. You're not the scars of your past, nor the shadow of your future. If you wait for the world to validate your worth, you'll be waiting forever. So when the world says you can't, get the backhand voice and says, watch you. I stood between the two clouds, one demanding with the physical tolerance and other the mental durability test. But in both cases, I refused to give up. I was unshakable, I was unbreakable. But the story didn't end here. I went straight away for the surgery, knowing that I had South Asian Games just 4 months away. A road to recovery as for an injury like mine would take an year, but in my mind I had 6 months. But in reality I had even less. 4 months post-surgery, I gave everything I had. Every pain, every struggle, every hard work into spirits, into kick, into strikes. The whistle blown, the crowd erupted, the referee raised my hand. It was the great victory. It was not just the medal I had, but the destination and the journey I lived. I won gold medal in South Asian Games. It was not just the medal for me. As my body has already been tested before, but the worst was yet to come. In 2021, my Olympic dream got snatched away when Indian team got barred from the Olympic Asian Test Tournament due to COVID restrictions. An uncontrollable fate of destiny, right? As I was just trying to move on, another blow struck. My knee shattered again. Due to COVID restrictions, I had no option and no choice but to fly to Spain for rehab, for relentless training, to force to my body for grueling, and to come back and to prove my worth for the Asian Championship trials in Korea. When life knocked us down, why do we become our own harshest critics? Why do we blame ourselves? Why do we punish ourselves? Why do we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders? Expectations, judgments, critics, failures, rejections. Looking at my journey, the legal battles on the courtroom, or my fractured knee, or the bruises on the mats, it built me something bigger. My spirit became something else. My future wasn't waiting for any apologies or regrets, but it was waiting for me to take control. For every sparring session, for every kick, turning pain into power. Each one of you have power to shape your destiny, to rise above the challenge that life throws away. So are you prepared to fight for your dreams, or you will let them fade away? Thank you.